We're ready. Well, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Bonjour, Quay. Thank you very much for joining us here today, and for those who are tuned in online, and for many of my caucus members who are here in the room with me today, and of course our friends in the media. I suppose it's a little bit fitting that we gather here today in this room for a room that where I've spent so much time over the past almost 6 years. Often during some very trying and uncertain times. COVID-19, potato wart, threat of violence on our schools, and during some of the most destructive hurricanes to ever hit our province's shores. Those were tough days, many of them long, working well into the night along with my cabinet colleagues and so many professional public servants who set aside their lives to do whatever they could to help our province move forward. But there have been very many positive moments here too, moments to share new programs and new government services, updates on transformative change that our government led, or moments where we've been able to share that we were turning the corner as a province and that the light at the end of the tunnel was bright and that better days were ahead. While it's easier to remember the challenges, I suppose, I stand here today knowing and feeling that there have been more positives than negative over the last 6 years. Through all of those moments, whatever the situation, as your Premier, I've tried to be honest, upfront, and sincere, and I've tried my very best to connect directly and genuinely with Islanders and not just talk to you. And today I'm bringing those same principles as I share with you some news that is a little bit maybe shocking and difficult and emotional for some, but it's news that I believe is in the best interest of the government, in the best interest of our party, and the best interest of the people of Prince Edward Island, and the best interest of my family. Earlier today, I shared with my caucus colleagues that I would be stepping down as the Premier and the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party of Prince Edward Island, effective noon tomorrow. Over the holidays, I had a long conversation with my family, and we came to the decision at that time that I wouldn't be reoffering in the next election. And since that time, I have been thinking long and hard about when might be the best time to share that news with our caucus and with Islanders, and when would be the appropriate time for me to step aside and allow for new leadership for our province. And I struggled with it honestly, because in reality there is no perfect time. I have felt for a while that, and I knew that I had more runway behind me than I did perhaps in front of me. Further complicated with the threats of tariffs and the threats to our country's sovereignty and economic uncertainty, and realizing that those aren't going to be simple issues that are going to disappear in a few days or weeks. They will require the attention every minute of every day for the next 4 years. And that really helped me determine that it was best for me to hand the baton of leadership to someone who can be focused for the long term. And I've always known that leadership is more than just one person. Over the last number of months, I have been comforted to see the strength and ability and consistency of so many in our caucus, to watch them stand up and to take action and to lead in difficult times. That comfort, quite honestly, allowed me to take and make what I believe in my heart is the best decision for our province, for our party, for our country, and for my family. And to be clear, my health is fine. I'm doing very well. And while I know this might be shocking news to some today, or at least some people, as I told them, they have told me it's shocking. I do feel that I have repeatedly said time and again that I wouldn't be a lifer in this job, and that once I had made up my mind, I would move on, and that's where it brings me to today. As is the traditional convention, and in keeping with the bylaws of our provincial party, an interim leader and Premier will be chosen by caucus and the provincial executive, and an official announcement on that will be made in the hours ahead. To that person, though, I would say this, that the job of Premier is a very special job. It's a position that Islanders hold very dear. They keep a very close eye on you, and it's a job that carries with it a heavy burden of responsibility. But it's also a great privilege and honor to sit in the chair, and for every second that you're in that chair, I would ask you to please remember that there are good days and there will be tough days, but always remember it's about people. As Islanders, I think we've had an unfair deal for quite a while when you look at COVID and hurricanes and pandemics and potato wart. As a government, though, I believe in the face of those challenges, we were able to accomplish many great things, many of them that I will look back on and remember very fondly, and many that I believe Islanders will benefit from, not just for today, but for many years to come. We have changed the face of healthcare delivery in P.E.I. and have made the most significant advancements in patient care in a generation. We have launched many new and innovative health services, making healthcare more accessible than ever before. Programs like Pharmacy Plus, our mobile mental health units, our single point of access, the mental health emergency department short stay unit, and so many others. We're training more healthcare professionals in this province than ever before in our history, offering many of them free tuition and a job guarantee after they complete their studies. This summer, the first cohort of 20 island students will start their journey to becoming doctors right here in Prince Edward Island at the University of Prince Edward Island's new medical school. We reached an historic agreement with our island doctors, being the first to recognize family medicine as a specialty, reducing red tape to allow them to spend more time providing care, and increasing wages across the board to help with recruitment and retention. We've hired 43 new doctors in the last 14 months, a record number. We've increased the basic personal tax exemption to $14,250, an increase of over $5,000 since we took power in 2019, keeping more hard-earned money in the pockets of Islanders. And this past year, we reformed the income tax system even further to make it more fair for more Islanders. We increased income thresholds on virtually every program across government to launch programs like free heat pumps and free insulation, free hot water heaters to help not only with affordability, but with keeping people in their homes longer and making their homes more energy efficient in the process. We launched an island-wide pay-what-you-can hot lunch program that provides healthy meals to our students so they can learn and develop without being hungry, and to help families with affordability. We increased Toonie Transit from tip to tip in this province. We've increased social assistance rates more than any government before us, helping the most vulnerable meet their basic needs and live a productive life in our province. We hosted the nation in 2023 as the host of the Canada Games, and still to this day are known as the best host in the history of the Canada Games. We've grown the economy and the workforce, having more businesses operating today and more than 90,000 workers in the workforce, generating more economic activity to help fund essential services such as healthcare, education, and social programs. We've hired more frontline staff in the education system than ever before, adding hundreds since 2019, allowing our students to get the best start in life. We're building new schools, new hospitals, more homes than ever before, and we're catching up on the essential infrastructure we need to keep pace with our growing population. And that's just a partial list. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is that we changed our politics in this province. I came into this job in 2019 and said that I was going to do it differently, that I didn't care about the color of politics, I didn't care about the partisanship of politics. I only cared about the people who called this province home. Politics in Prince Edward Island is vastly different today than it was in 2019. And I stand here proudly to say that politics in P.E.I. is the hallmark of goodness and decency in the Canadian landscape, and a beacon of hope and kindness in a world that needs it now more than ever before. And I know that the political world always changes, but it remains my great hope and wish that what we started here in 2019 can and will continue for many years to come, because the world needs it and Islanders really respond positively to it. And just before I take questions from our friends in the media for the final time, I do want to take the opportunity to thank so many people who played an important role in the last 6 years. And this is where the speech will get difficult for me, but first of all, to my family, this position is very hard and challenging for families. Too many times, my wife and kids have lost almost every face-off to the demands of this job. To my wife, Jana, Nobody has given more to this than you. You have seen the best and the worst of me, but you were always there to pick me up and to cheer for me. You gave up parts of you so that I could do this job. You bit your tongue more times than one person should ever have to. You picked up the duties that I couldn't do so that our kids wouldn't miss out on being kids. You were quite simply the best person I've ever known, and I promise I will spend the rest of my life trying to make up for all that you've given up and all the time I've taken from you and from us. And I love you very, very much. To Jake and Cam and Cal, my kids, you've grown up so fast. You've had to share Dad with thousands of Islanders at concerts and restaurants and rinks and ball fields. But you always did so with a smile and a level of patience and understanding wise beyond your years. I just love you all so much, and your mom and I are so proud of the wonderful, kind humans you are. To my cabinet and caucus colleagues, past and present, thank you so much for your service, all of you. Thank you for your dedication to making our province a better place to live, work, and to raise a family. I'm proud of what we have accomplished over the last 6 years, and I know that you will continue to serve Islanders and provide leadership to our province and our country in the days and months and years ahead. And I promise you that nobody will cheer harder for you than I will. To the dedicated staff who worked every day and were integral to helping our team find success, I can't say thank you enough. For those of you who have never done it, you can never understand, but a job in the Premier's office isn't a regular job. It isn't 8 to 5. It's countless hours over and over and over. It's evenings, it's weekends, it's holidays, it's storm days, it's summer vacation days. It's literally 24/7, 365 days a year. And I have been blessed with just incredible, selfless, dedicated members of staff who haven't just become friends, they have become family. For your unwavering support, your dedication, and your passion, for helping fuel me so I could keep going every day over the last 6 years, I am forever grateful. Each of you, you know who you are, many of you are in the room today, will forever hold a special place in my heart, in the heart of my wife and my family, in the hearts of our extended families from Summerside and Georgetown and all points in between. To the residents of District 15, who I've had the pleasure of representing over the past 6 years as your MLA, I say thank you for placing your confidence in me twice to be your voice in the provincial legislature. It has been a privilege and an honor of a lifetime, and I thank you so much for the opportunity. And last, but certainly not least, to Islanders, one and all, I have had the great honor and pleasure to have been Premier during what I believe has been a very consequential time in our province's history. Because of what we have gone through together, I have been given the gift of being very close and connected with so many of you. It has been hard, it has been emotional, it has been difficult, it has been challenging, but it has been the gift of a lifetime. Thank you for your confidence, thank you for your trust, and thank you for your unfailing support. Twice I was fortunate enough to garner your support in an election, and I tried hard every day to make sure you knew it was something I never took for granted. What got me out of bed each morning was knowing that you, the proud people of Prince Edward Island, put that trust in me for a reason. And I knew the only repayment for that privilege was to put my heart and soul into it every single day. You gave me your trust, and I gave you my very best. So thank you, P.E.I. It has been the privilege of a lifetime serving as your 33rd Premier. I thank you for everything. And with that, I'll